So let's go ahead and make a bucket policy so that we can access this coffee file from the public URL. So to do so, let's go under the permissions tabs. And the first thing we have to do is to allow public access from the bucket setting, because right now everything is blocked. So we edit this and we're going to untick this, and therefore we will allow public access. But again, this is something you would disable only and only if you know you want to set a public bucket policy. So this is dangerous action. So we say yes, because of course, if you set data, real data of your company on an S3 bucket and you make this public, you have data leaks, and that can never be good. So now under permissions overview, the access is that objects can be public. So that's the first step. Next, we scroll down and we look at bucket policy. So currently we have none, and we want to create one so that we make our entire bucket public. So the first thing you can do is look at the policies example, and this is the documentation, and it will show you a lot of use cases on the right-hand side that will show you what's the appropriate and corresponding bucket policy. But for us, we're going to use the policy generator. So here is the AWS policy generator, and we're going to create an S3 bucket policy. So let's select the right type. We'll allow, and then the principal is going to be a star because we want to allow anyone on the Amazon S3 service to perform, and because we read objects on our bucket, we want to perform a get object. So here it is. We want to allow get objects, and the Amazon resource name must be the bucket name with a slash and then with a star. So let's have a look first. So back into our S3 buckets, we have the bucket ARN here, the Amazon resource name here. So we copy it, we paste it into the Amazon resource name, and this is not over. We add a slash and then we add a star. And the reason why we do this is that this action, the get object action right here, applies to objects within your buckets. And therefore, objects within your bucket are after a slash and their stars to represent these objects. So let's add this statement, and then let's generate this policy. And this policy is what we copy into here. And this is a public S3 policy. So that means that get objects are allowed from anyone on any objects of this bucket. Okay, that's good. So let's save these changes. And there is a space here, so let's remove this. Perfect. Save these changes. Now that works. And now, as you can see, under permissions overview, the access is now set to public. And we get a little warning that unless you want this to be really accessible from the internet, then don't do this. Okay, so now it's publicly accessible. We can see it really from everywhere. So if we go back into our coffee.jpg file, this is the public URL, okay? The full public URL. And I'm going to refresh this page. And now, as you can see, the coffee.jpg file appears before my screen. And therefore, that object is now public. And any objects uploaded onto our Amazon S3 bucket is now going to be accessible using the public URL. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. We've had an overview of bucket policies and as well as a sneak peek into the policy generator. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.